how can we reduce reverberation time without adding sound absorption? This sounds a bit crazy, but this is a really useful tip that we can use, especially in swimming pool areas or spas or stuff like that. And now we got my dog here who wants to join in on the discussion. Like, I'm gonna show you here in a painting. Now, usually, if you have a room, let's do some sketch here. It's too skewed, like so, something like that. The place where you usually put your sound absorbers is in the ceiling. So this area you cover with a sound absorbing ceiling. But what happens if you have a swimming pool area or a spa or something like that, is that the walls tend to be either it's a glass big window, which is very hard acoustically for certain types of sound, so that it will easily bounce from it. And also you have hard surfaces on the walls, because you cannot put porous sound absorbing materials in a swimming pool area. It just doesn't work. And also water is very, very hard surface acoustically. The sound it bounces back from the water, almost no absorption whatsoever. But we need to solve this, and a really effective way of doing it is to angle the walls. So by doing so, if we look at this from the side, let's just move this one a little bit. So you have your basic room here, and what happens if you don't have anything on the walls, then sound. Let's take some cool rainbow pen. That could work. The ceiling is a sound absorbing material, so the what's bouncing between the floor and the ceiling, up, down, like so, that sound will be cancelled out and become absorbed in the ceiling. But the sounds that are bouncing between these two walls, for instance, back and forth can go on almost indefinitely, because you have hard surfaces and they are plain parallel to each other. And the same goes for the long sides of the room. Here you will also get a lot of bouncing back and forth with sound reflections, because there's also parallel surfaces, parallel and undamped. A very good analogy would be, if you've ever been inside a room, or you don't even have to be inside a room, just take two normal mirrors and put your face in between them, and then you look to the sides like this, and you will see how your image goes on to infinity in both directions. But that illusion only works when the mirrors are in parallel. So if you just angle the mirrors ever so slightly, the illusion is gone. Because if you angle them, then the sound will start bouncing another way. And in this case, we would really like to make the sound go up towards the ceiling, where you have a lot of absorption. This one could have a very high sound absorption coefficient. And then we have an absorber here in the ceiling. And then first we have parallel surfaces. It's gonna keep bouncing back and forth like this. We don't want that. So what we do then is we just give it a slight angle here. A couple of degrees. Maybe 5 degrees could be enough. And then when you do the experiment again, instead, when the sound goes here, bam, it comes back, but then it's reflected, and it's gonna go up a little bit, and it's gonna go like so, and bam, it's absorbed. So then this hard surface suddenly starts to behave like a sound absorber, even though it's completely reflective, because the sound goes up. And of course, if you add a little angle over here, then you would exaggerate the effect even more, so it's even quicker to cancel out the sound. And of course, you can do this on both these two surfaces and these two. And what you always want to avoid when designing a room is you don't want plain parallel undamped surfaces. So if you look, oh, let's go away from the rainbow pen. I actually like that pen. It's quite nice to draw sound reflections. If you look from above in the room, if you have plain undamped surfaces, you're gonna get this behavior, and you're gonna get this behavior also. And if you don't have anything in your ceiling, you're gonna get the same thing in the Z direction too. But if we then add some sound absorbing material here, and we do it here. This is not optimal. This is not how you should do it, because what happens now, we're gonna cancel out that one. It's gone. But you're gonna be still, this one is gonna be there. So instead of putting it there, we should do like this. At least 2 non-parallel surfaces. So this way we will take this one, it's gone, and this one is also gone. And then of course you have absorbers in the ceiling as well. So the ones that are coming in and out from the screen now, I don't know how to draw it, they're also gone. So no parallel surfaces. And then you break this illusion with the example I gave you, the analogy with the mirrors. Yeah, that's a really good tip if you ever want to design a room where you cannot put sound absorbing material on the walls. I mean, in a swimming pool area, it's quite obvious. You might want to clean it and pour water on it. So porous materials are perhaps not the optimum thing. But also, sound absorbers, if they're porous, they tend to be sensitive to mechanical damage. But if you just angle a wall, you can still have a tough surface. And that could be very valuable. So usually when we design swimming pool areas, bathing houses, or what are they called? Adventure baths, there's usually quite a lot of glass in them. So if we can angle the glass, oh, I don't know if I'm American or if I'm English, no matter. The windows, the big window areas, we angle them a little bit so that the sound is reflected up towards the ceiling, and there you put an absorber. Very, very effective and cool way to solve the problem. So if you ever see, when you're walking somewhere, you see these angled windows and you see sound absorbing material, chances are quite high that there's been an acoustician involved to do this little trick that I just told you about here. And in today's video, I'm wearing pretty much the same outfit that I wore a couple of days ago. But anyway, I want to show you something here. If you're wearing a burgundy shirt like this, burgundy and gray, it's a fantastic match. But I'm going tieless. And the reason I prefer tieless is that when you have a dark color on your shirt like this, it's quite difficult to find a tie to match with this, because it's just not enough contrast here. The tie is not almost not visible. So I think it actually looks better without the tie, honestly. And then also when you have this kind of what's called Oxford shirt, they are much more casual, so they are well suited to use without a tie. I like this outfit. It's casual but still dressed. Actually, this microphone is a bit in the way. Let's move it down. However, I was just checking out my tie collection. I found this one could work. You could get away with this one because it's got a pattern and it's a green color, so that it actually you get enough contrast to make it work. But usually, personally, if I'm gonna wear a tie, I prefer to have a brighter color, white, light blue shirts or bluish shirts. They are much easier to pair with a tie. But when you go with the darker shirts, they're hard to use ties with, and you might be better off rocking a tieless look. Have a nice weekend, and I'll see you later.